We all flew to Buenos Aires in the late 1972. Mm-hmm. And actually what they did, now before that, what happened, before Christmas time, when I went to Miami, I was called by Ted Shackley and told me not to fly into Miami because there was a Cuban intelligence officer who defected in Paris and told them that his buddy, having drink with him, told him that he was involved in an operation to hijack the plane of the Cuban involved in the assassination of Che Guevara. He had no idea who it was.
To hijack?
The plane of the Cuban who was involved in the assassination of Che Guevara. Okay. So not to fly into Miami, go anywhere else, but not to Miami. So
meaning your plane?
Yeah, the commercial plane.
Right.
So what I did is they told me not to fly into Miami, so I flew into Atlanta, Georgia. I rented a car. I drove to Miami. From there,
holy shit!
Spent the 24th of December with my wife. I spent New Year's Eve with her. We call Los Reyes Magos on the 6th of December for the kid beside the Santa Claus. And then on the 7th, I drove back to Atlanta. I had a plane that leave Atlanta, Houston, San Francisco, and then I had to wait like 4 hours, 5 hours in San Francisco to get another plane to go to Hawaii, Vietnam, or Hong Kong, Hawaii, whatever. I had a cousin who lives there. She's still there. She's married to another Cuban there in Atlanta. So she came to say goodbye at the airport. So I found there was a plane that left 1 hour later. So instead of waiting 5 hours in San Francisco, I decided only wait 4, stay 1 more hour here with my cousin. So I changed plane. Instead, the plane that went from Atlanta to Houston, I got a plane went Atlanta, Dallas, San Francisco, 1 hour later. So I spent with her. So when I got to Vietnam that day, nobody was waiting for me at the airport. So I took a Lambretta. I went to the Duke Hotel, that's the CIA hotel. I changed. I got into the embassy, and the first guy who looked at me and said, "What are you doing here?" I said, "Hey, I'm supposed to arrive today." And nobody was waiting for me. I said, No. Your plane that we had in record had been hijacked to Cuba. And we were finding out what the hell we do to get you out of Cuba.
What?
They were very concerned. That's why when me and my wife went to Argentina, they took our passport, my wife and I, and they took it to the State Department. They had all the details right, my name and everything, but then place of birth, they put Colorado instead of Cuba. So in case our plane was hijacked, they will claim me as U.S. citizen born in the United States.
Wow!
I remember I still have a copy at home of the passport that said place of birth Colorado.
That's insane.
And then when I came back, of course, I tell people, say I was a U.S. citizen born here for less than a year.
I was born in Colorado.
Born in Colorado.
So what year was that plane hijacked?
That was jacked in December from 1971 to 72.
And it was hijacked and it was flown to Cuba.
Yep.
And whatever happened, did they catch the person who hijacked it? Do you know what happened with that?
No, the face who hijacked it was probably a member of the Cuban intelligence. He had no problem.
And what about the passengers on board? Were they all fine?
They probably returned everybody. The interest was having
only looking for you.
And he wasn't there. That's why when I always travel, and imagine this, what happened was the Cuban had access to the airline, to knowing what flight I was going. If I had not done that, and I would have left from Miami, they have no chance to change planes. They would probably hijack the plane from Miami. Because if they were able to find out that I was flying from Atlanta, they will never believe, but they will definitely find out that I was flying from Miami.
Right.
What saved me was that I went to Atlanta and I changed plane in Atlanta to stay with her. Otherwise, I have no reason to change plane in Miami. I was living on the same plane, and they probably would have taken me. So I was really lucky during that time.
Did that make you paranoid at all after that?
No, I believe in destiny.
You believe in destiny?
Oh, yes. Look, when I was in Vietnam, Ted Shackley, my boss, used to tell people that I had a death wish.
Yeah.
Because the way I conducted myself in operation, believe me, I am not brave like that. It's not a death wish. God gave me the conviction that I wasn't going to be hit. I was convinced. And no matter what I did, I knew that. Look, went down 5 times helicopter. My helicopter was shot with bullet, rigged with bullet 40 times at least during the time. I flew like 300 missions in Vietnam. 40 times at least. I never touched me. I had a bullet. I have in my home a fire extinguisher from a helicopter number 38. The bullet came through close to my leg. It hit inside the fire extinguisher. And boy, it was white smoke all over the place in a helicopter. Everybody thought we were shut down. I was in El Salvador. And of course, we fly with no doors, so we took the trim out and the air came down. And I kept the fire extinguisher at my home with the bullet inside the fire extinguisher there.
That's
But I knew.
incredible.
I just knew it wasn't going to happen to me. And it did. It didn't.
That's super interesting. I mean, do you think that was the same attitude that a lot of people you worked with had? Or did you?
I think that was unique on me. I really
it
believe
was
in
unique
that.
to you.
There was a conviction that it's not something that is hard to explain. I knew, beyond doubt. That's why, there should have made I could come up with body. I didn't mind because I know it wasn't going to hit me. And it didn't.
Wow.
Ever. I don't have one bullet in my body. I have people wounded next to me.
Yeah.
But not to a helicopter in different places, but I never got a bullet myself.
Is there?
But it's not bravery. It was the conviction. I knew it wasn't going to happen. It didn't.
Were there any moments that you can think of in all of your tours, everything that you did, that you thought you might not make it? Like, what was the closest you ever came to death?
Not to that. Well, you could say yes in Cuba. That time that I was supposed to leave, the day when they got the house and everybody was executed later on. Actually, we went and the boat wasn't coming that day. Didn't come that day. We had to return back. On the way back, there were 6 of us in the car. There was the driver, who later was the owner of the Erasmo Martinez. He was the owner of the Supermercado Presidente here in Miami. We had 3 members of the Cuban Instituto de Petroleum Institute in Cuba, who had just performed a sabotage and destroyed 15 oil trucks, fuel trucks. I mean, they were looking for them for execution, all 3 of them. 2 of them, I think, they were driver. One were driver, the other one were security for the area, and they blew up that. And then one guy came from the guerrilla, from the Escandray, called Diosdado. He's the only one in the group who had a revolver with 5 bullets. And he got one finger was missing. He was shot during combat. He got a type of. So we are coming back 1 o'clock in the morning in this car, and we make a turn. There is a stop of Castro's troop in there, a checkpoint. Never was there before. 1 o'clock in the morning. We were coming like 120 to 140 kilometers an hour. And the driver said, why do I say stop? It just came to my mind. I had a big envelope with name written Clarence in black ink. It was for the CIA guy in Miami. So I put it in here.
Oh,
Here.
Jesus.
And we stopped beyond the checkpoint at the speed that we went. I told to the people, look, lower the windows, take the safety out, and if they ask for our documentation, let's try to throw the door to them and try to take a weapon from them. That's the only thing we can do. Mm-hmm. But then on the way by, I put my head out and say, compañero, pasa algo. I mean, real strong. And they look at me and say, no, compañero, no pasa nada, siga. And they let us go.
What does that mean?
Yeah, they saw 6 men inside a vehicle. And the car was a Chevrolet from 1958, black, was similar to the one that the G2, their intelligence service used. Mm-hmm. So the language that I used, the language that they used. So they saw 6 men inside. So I guess they probably thought 2 things. Maybe they are one of us. If they are not and they stop, maybe they are machine and they're going to kill us.
Yeah.
So they told us to continue. Now, when I came back on the following 2 days, which I finally leave, the 3 people from the petroleum thing, they declined to be taken out by boat. They all went to different embassies. When I got to the Venezuelan embassy, one of them was in the Venezuelan embassy. They didn't want to go through something like this again.
Wow.
Let me tell you, if they had picked us up there, we would have been executed by firing squads. Definitely, because there were 3 people from the Escambray, 1 people from the Escambray, 3 who blew all of this oil for the Cuban government, and it was me from the infiltration team. So, that was
early on.
That was tremendous.
That was when you were very young. You encountered. So
yeah,
you had this.
I was when I was in Vietnam. I was in Bolivia. I was 26. I was less than 30 years old at that time.
Right.